Now, if you walk through all the logic here, all the trade flows, everything involved, the one thing that the U.S. does not have at its control, right? We talked about, if you apply tariffs to certain goods, can you replace that import with something you produce in the US? And for most things, the answer is yes. But for some very critical things, that answer is a resounding no. And that's where you get into this kind of subject of 100% import dependent rare earth elements, right? So it's been a hot topic for, 15, 20 years. We've known this day is coming, but I would argue that that time is, when that critical moment hit and the problem became not just apparent, but like urgent. That moment was somewhere in the past, right? And you're seeing, and why is that, right? These rare earths go into, in particular, what they're utilized in as magnets. You need them for essentially 21st century technologies, drones, EVs, semiconductors, electrification. Just go down the list. They're going to be critical for any nation state to compete, in the playing field and the remainder of the 21st century. And that gets into this deal we saw this week as we talk about big topic metal. Didn't list them on the screen with the typical posters with the big three things, but if we did, um, I'd call it like this week was huge for metals. We saw a really interesting public-private, partnership deal between the U.S. Department of Defense and a company based out of California called MP Materials or Mountain Pass Materials. It's based in Mountain Pass, California. We've got a little helicopter view of their mining operation in the background, kind of covered up. But they are, one of the few production projects live in the U.S. that is essentially working on domestic um, production of these rare earth elements. So the DoD signed on for a $400 million capital commitment. It's going to be a preferred equity investment. They also got warrants in this deal that would allow them to hold up to 15% of the company's equity. They signed up for an offtake commitment agreement, which kind of contractually obligates them to purchase. I want to say it's like 10 years worth of production of these rare earth elements coming out of the Mountain Pass mining site. Uh, and if you just think about it, this is a massive signal, in my opinion, um, of where this is going, right? So
It's
it's become,
to
yeah, go
pause
ahead.
right there. The U.S. Department of Defense doesn't manufacture things, so they're going to that I think is the chain of okay. They're committing to purchase, but that's got to flow to the manufacturers via some other chain, right?
TBD how this
Yeah.
develops, but the trend is towards verticalization.
Hmm.
What do we mean by that? Well, you think about the defense industry, you've seen consolidation, over the time frame, right, of the world post World War II military industrial complex, right? It's gone through these, like it's narrowed down into number of producers. But as far as, which companies are going to now supply the U.S. military with the drones, the deliveries, all of that it needs. Who knows? Like there may be deals around the corner for that step of the value chains in the future as well. But right now, you start with you can't produce, drones, right, or other key finished products, right, finished goods that you need for modern day war, right? without the rare earths in the first place. So you start with getting your supply chains at the base level commodities, and that's what, this deal really represented. So this is huge, I think, for the metals industry itself, the mining industry. Um, but I think it's also an acknowledgement. This also is like the rubber hitting the road with uh, fixed income markets as well. Um, and the core constraint, right? At the end of the day, we can print treasuries, we can expand bank balance sheets, but what you can't print is metals, right? You got to acquire those the hard way. You got to pay the iron price to get those in the Game of Thrones lingo.